Happy opening day, everybody. Happy New Year. Cheers to the new year. Cheers to the new season. Welcome to Dodgers territory, entering our second full season hosting this podcast. I am Alanna Rizzo. That is my guy, Clint Pasillas. So happy to be with you guys and welcome to the show. Make sure you like us, rate us 5 stars, subscribe, all of the things. Clint, it is great to be with you. Happy New Year. A lot of things to talk about in the big ticket. We're going to be joined momentarily by Jill Painter-Lopez, who does a great job covering the Dodgers among all of the LA sports teams. So we'll be joined by her momentarily, but let's get into the big ticket.
Let's do it.
Happy to see Mookie Betts back in the Dodgers lineup. Yeah. Obviously, it was very concerning there for a time because he was losing a ton of weight in a short period of time, but he played in the final exhibition game against the Angels, this via David Vassegh. Great to see Mookie there on the field, taking some ground balls. And, you know, a healthy Mookie is great. I want to make sure he is okay, but you got to feel good going forward with him in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, even at a reduced weight, we know what Mookie Betts can do on the field, what he does for the lineup, extending the lineup, and just helping dudes feel more comfortable in their roles. Not that Tommy Edman struggled in his 2-game stint in that 2-hole, but you got to love seeing Mookie back in there. And if he says he's ready to play, you got to trust the player. I'm still a little iffy about it, but I'm not Mookie Betts. I'm far from Mookie Betts. I don't drive the same car Mookie Betts drives, and I don't make the medical decisions for this team. So happy to see him in there.
Yeah, it's weird though, right? He was like losing all kinds of weight, couldn't keep anything down. All of a sudden he's ready to go. But whatever it was, they found the magic potion and hopefully he is good to go. Glad to see it. Glad to see that. Now, here we go. Domestic opening day, and it is the man, Blake Snell, one of the biggest offseason free agent acquisitions. Snellzilla is now on the hill for the Los Angeles Dodgers, making his official Dodger debut. Expectations, Clint?
It's funny when we talk Blake Snell because you do get 2 different versions of Blake Snell. You get the Cy Young Award, winning version, and you get the version that maybe puts up a 4.5 ERA. I think Blake Snell at this point in time, he signed early, really early with this team for a reason. He wanted to be in a spot. He wanted to be locked in. He wanted to work with this team. I feel really, really confident about this dude. Give him the ball every 5th day, and he's going to be one of those guys who is an every fifth day guy, as where somebody like Sasaki, Yamamoto, eventually Shohei Ohtani, they're going to be more on that 6-man rotation, but this is a dude who was signed to be that workhorse, signed to post every 5th day, give this team a lot of innings. And what better way to make your debut but in front of 56,000 at Dodger Stadium at 4 p.m. on a Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, it's funny too, because Jeremy Meyer, our great producer and oftentimes director and man that has a billion different hats, was saying either way, you can't go wrong with Blake Snell, because either you're going to get the 2-time Cy Young Award winner, one in each league, of course, or you're going to get that. Listen, we know that he's just a second half guy, right? So it's like either way, you're fine, whether he pitches really good in the second half of the season or you get the guy that pitches really well all season long and wins perhaps his 3rd Cy Young Award. I'm fine with it. You were saying, Clint, you're going to need the Cy Young Blake Snell from the get-go.
Yeah, I would love to see that version of Blake Snell. I want to see the version that, if anything, I think for me personally, it's just to kind of drag Padres fans down a little bit more because they're not happy that he signed with the Dodgers. Of course, they take it as some sort of slight against them, even though the Dodgers came at Blake Snell with the most amount of money early in the offseason. And he was like, yeah, I want to be a Dodger. I've wanted to be a Dodger. So if he's really, really good from the jump, you're telling Padres fans a little subtle, flipping a bird towards them. And then same with the Giants, where, let's be fair, he was doo-doo in the first half of the season. Blake Snell would tell you the same thing. Did not pitch well without a spring training. So that's what I want to see. I want to see that guy who's challenging the rest of that starting rotation as well. Everybody in that starting 5, starting 6 eventually needs to be the best version of themselves. And we know, Alanna, you know how starting pitchers are. It's a competition. It's an internal competition. Who can get the most wins? Who's going to pitch the most innings, most strikeouts? So Blake Snell needs to be at the top of the many of those leaderboard lists for this pitching staff.
what I love about it is that Blake Snell does not have to be the man. He has
It
four
does
other
not.
guys right behind him that can carry the load, right? I mean, I think a lot of times these guys that are winning these awards, I mean, every fifth day they're going to, for the most part, post a W. But now it's like, you know what? Just do your job. Just worry about your day. You don't need to have to be the stopper every single time, right? Because you have guys behind you that can shove. That being said, I do really love this pitching matchup tonight for the Los Angeles Dodgers because wow, Tarik Skubal going up against Blake Snell. I mean, that's going to be something really fun to watch. One of the most exciting pitching matchups I think we could have as far as opening day because Skubal obviously can shove.
I think I saw a note too. I should have probably brought it up in our production meeting or remembered it, but it was early in the morning when I saw it. I think this is like the fourth time that the reigning Cy Young Award winner goes up against the reigning World Series champions or something like that in baseball history. So it's a really, really cool setup, a really, really cool matchup. And, Tarik Skubal, longtime former future Dodger or whatever you want to call him. He was never going to be traded to LA last year, but it's a great lid lifter at Dodger Stadium, which, by the way, underwent another $100 million renovation. So I'm interested in asking Jill if she's seen any of that stadium yet and what she can tell us about the underbelly, because I'm sure you saw some of the shots coming out of the ballpark. That place looks insane. That clubhouse looks insane.
Oh my gosh. Wait till you see the shots of the Dodgers clubhouse, the new Dodgers clubhouse. It's just stupid. It's absolutely stupid in a really good way. Before we get to welcome Jill Painter-Lopez, is the starting rotation a little strange for the domestic opener? I really thought it was going to be Snell, Tyler Glasnow, then Yamamoto, and then Sasaki, but it looks like it's going to be Yamamoto on Friday, which is tomorrow, and then Sasaki's on Saturday. So it looks like Tyler Glasnow is going to face the Braves. Is that what we're waiting for?
It seems that way. You got that weird off day on Sunday as well. That just seems weird. Dodgers need to be playing on Sundays, but that's just me complaining right there. Sasaki on the Saturday, I think that's the weird one. Glasnow, what's going on with Tyler there? Why did they decide to push him back? Not questioning Dave Roberts in this front office, of course. We've learned let's not do that too much anymore moving forward. Although it does get us sit downs with Doc. I guess it is what it is. When you have this much talent, throw it out there and to keep Sasaki and Yamamoto back to back. Maybe that's something that's important for the front office right now for Mark Pryor and company. Maybe that's what they want to do. But it's definitely a little weird to have Glasnow push so deep into the season.
Yeah, it's also going to be weird, too, if Jack Flaherty has a return to Dodger Stadium as a member of the Tigers because they haven't announced their rotation yet. So that is a TBD. All right, before we welcome in Jill Painter-Lopez to talk all things Los Angeles Dodgers, a quick word from our friends over at Foul Territory on Nutrafol.
This year, there's nothing holding you back from loving your hair again. Let Nutrafol target the key root causes of your thinning hair and help you grow stronger, healthier strands from within.
Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol.
Building a hair growth routine is simple. Purchase online, no prescriptions required. Automated deliveries and free shipping keep you on track. Plus, with a Nutrafol subscription, you can save up to 20%.
Start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol for a limited time. Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code FOUL. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code FOUL. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code FOUL.
All right, we appreciate Nutrafol being a part of the show. I'd like to welcome in a very good friend of mine and a woman that has been a tremendous journalist for many years. Jill Painter-Lopez writes for the Associated Press. She also covers the Dodgers and the Angels and all thing LA sports for KCAL and CBS. Jill, welcome. Great to have you on the show. An even better thing to talk about is the fact that Mookie Betts is back in the lineup. And anytime you can have a Mookie Betts at the top of your lineup, it proves to be a good day. Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy opening day, happy New Year, happy everything you celebrate, Alanna and Clint. Thanks so much for having me on. First timer, so happy to be on. It's such a you're saving me for opening day. Oh, geez. Well, it's yeah.
Listen,
10 a.m. Pacific,
it's 10 a.m. somewhere, so.
So gotta have something. I will be celebrating with my iced What is it, vanilla latte in the Dodger press box later today. But so you're right, Alanna, in terms of having Mookie back, and he proclaimed himself healthy. But I am very hesitant to say Mookie's back. I mean, when you're talking about losing 25 pounds, and you guys know this as well, I think everybody's a little hesitant. He said he was fine yesterday. The day before, I mean, he's talking about how he obviously can't hold any food down. He was at 175, now playing at 150. Can your body, he says his body's fine, it's just his stomach, but can your body really withstand that trauma for 2 or 3 weeks and boom, just be right back at it, playing 9 innings a day every day? I don't know. It's a grueling schedule, and I'm worried about him, first of all, for his health. Hopefully they've figured it out, but I don't know. Concerned for him.
Yeah, it might be a little weird in the first couple of weeks here. Thankfully, the Dodgers do have a number of off days. We were just talking Sunday is an off day. I think every Thursday is off. There's a Monday mixed in there. So even if we do have Mookie playing 5, 6, 7 innings, something he doesn't want to do that slow ramp up, I think he let us all know it's more important that he's in that lineup rather than on the IL, or rather than still throwing up every couple of meals, or every meal was what he was kind of talking about. But it's a special day coming up at Dodger Stadium, of course. Opening day, we've talked a whole lot about it. How does this team kind of come back from all the pomp and circumstance that happened this past October? You play the Yankees, you're on this adrenaline rush, such a high, and now you're coming back down to earth. You do spring training, you go to Japan, you get the juices flowing there. Now you're coming back home. They push ring ceremony day back one day because there's already enough excitement about opening day itself. Just what's kind of the pulse that you've seen from this team and the excitement level to get through this and kind of get on that train towards the road to repeat?
Well, I think the Dodgers have had to deal with this for years. I mean, you look at Alanna, who has covered the team for a long time. They've had a target on their back, just being the power in the NL West. So a big exhale after the Japan trip. I know some of those guys are still dealing with the jet lag, as you saw from your interview with Kike Hernandez. So, it's going to be like this all season. It's a bit of a circus covering this team because there's just so much interest internationally. They are a global team now. You see it by every day that the latest partners that they have signed from Japan. Everybody wants to be part of this team. So a lot of veterans, some young talent there as well, but a lot of veterans, I think, will carry this, and especially from the top with Dave Roberts. They're used to this. I think they're going to be fine, but certainly you can't blame them if they are coming into opening day a little bit in need of a caffeine hype.
Jill, you had mentioned all of the Japanese partnerships, which makes a lot of sense when you have Shohei Ohtani on your team, Yoshinobu Yamamoto on your team, Roki Sasaki on your team. But let's talk about how they manage 3 Japanese-born pitchers in that starting rotation. Obviously, Shohei not quite ready to throw off the mound yet in a big league game, but you have Yamamoto, who's throwing on Saturday, and you have, or Friday rather, and you have, Roki Sasaki in the mix as well. So how do you manage a starting rotation where you have guys that are accustomed to going every 6th day, but also want to maintain the regularity of a Blake Snell who throws tonight and a Tyler Glasnow who looks to be throwing on Monday?
Well, I think with this team, it's just put your egos aside and you have to do what's best for the team. And that may be hard for some guys, but it's not like this is coming out of left field. They know they're going to have to do this. So many Japanese pitchers, as you mentioned, are used to pitching every 6th day. That's how it's been for Shohei Ohtani. It throws a little bit of a wrinkle that Mark Pryor and Dave Roberts are going to have to work around when you put in Yamamoto and Roki. But you know what? It's a good problem to have. I think Snell and Glasnow, those are great clubhouse guys, as we know. So they'll be able to work around that. And then you have so many other guys in line or in waiting when Clayton Kershaw comes back. You look at a Gonsolin, obviously a Dustin May. I mean, he's probably just going to be happy to be back out on a mound after the recovery that he's had. So again, it's just going to be egos aside, and everybody is going to have to be flexible.
With the new season here, there's different things we're watching for a team trying to become the first team to repeat in 25 years or whatever it is. What are, let's say some people weren't watching every move this team made in the offseason. What are 3 storylines besides Mookie's illness and coming back from that? 3 storylines you're watching over the first month plus of the season that you think fans should also be keeping an eye on?
Well, first and foremost is obviously going to be Shohei Ohtani. Is he going to be able to have another MVP season? We know that he's kind of ramped down his pitching a little bit, and perhaps that's coinciding with the first month of the season. Does not look like he is going to be pitching on a mound in May anymore, so that's going to be pushed back. I love that. I mean, this guy was just amazing last year, a 50-50 season, and just having come off going to his birthplace and playing in front of the fans and hitting a homer in Tokyo. I mean, it just what he's dealt with has been a lot for sure. So just wanted to say, obviously, Shohei Ohtani, first and foremost, the storyline. And then you look at Mookie, you mentioned him. I think he and Freddie are going to be a big storylines. Can they stay healthy? Can they be in that lineup every day? They certainly, the Dodgers put a premium on players being versatile, right? Play the infield, the outfield. You got Rojas, you got Kike, you got Tommy Edman. Everybody can play multiple positions, and I think that is going to be key over this first month stretch.
I agree with you, Jill. One thing we like to talk about too is, I mean, barring catastrophe, I think the Dodgers are going to the postseason. I'm really going out on a limb by saying that. Let me ask you this, though. Around the league, who do you think would be the biggest challenger for the Dodgers, not only in the National League, but when the Dodgers get to the World Series, Jill Painter-Lopez, who's the biggest competition for them?
I mean, we just might find the biggest competition in the NL West. As you said, Alanna, last year, if you can get past the Padres, which they did by the hair on their chinny chin chin, if you can do that, you've got the rest of the road cleared for you. I think that's the case again. You look at the NL West, and pitching is what does it for me in terms of how far a team is going to go. If you have a great rotation, everybody saved the poor Colorado Rockies. I mean, my goodness, losing a combined 204 games. All the pitching in the NL West went to the all other 4 teams. So I think it's going to be the Padres. But you look at, I'm in a name drop here, Arizona, Corbin Burns, Zach Allen, Merrill Kelly. You look at the Giants, Webb, Verlander, Robbie May, Jordan Hicks, Hayden Burnside, the Padres, Michael King, Dylan Cease, Darvish, who's starting on the IL. And then their offensive lineup, oh my goodness. So Luis Ariz, Merrill Jackson, Cronin, Tatis Jr., Machado, Padres have everything. But I think that second place in the NL West is going to be the most amazing race to watch in Major League Baseball this season.
I think it's pretty easy to imagine one of the top 3 or one of the top 2 wild card spots coming out of that NL West, the NL Best, as we call it around here. Very, very good division. We saw it helps the Dodgers when the competition around them is good. The Dodgers play better. They weren't as flat heading into last postseason, and then it ultimately worked out. As opposed to a team going out there winning 111 games, having all of this supreme talent, and then just kind of flatlining against a division opponent there. Listen. We can sit here and all pretty much book the fact that the Dodgers are going to win the NL West. We know that. It's just about getting through 162 games, 160 more at this point. How do you, as somebody that covers this team, how do you keep things spicy? How do you keep it entertaining for yourself, but also people watching your content and keeping up with this team along the way?
I mean, it's fun to watch a winner, isn't it? That there's always going to be storylines. There's so many personalities on this team. Again, you look at Clayton Kershaw, who's been with the team for almost 2 decades. When does he come back? How does Dustin May fare this year after the injuries? Gonsolin, of course, coming back as well. And then you look at the bullpen, Treinen, and of course, you look at those new guys like Tanner Scott. How does he fit in? I just think there's so many storylines like that. And then, of course, the 3 Japanese pitchers. We've got perhaps Shohei Ohtani watch for he and his wife's new baby. We've got decoy watch. I mean, I just think there's always something, right? I mean, I'm always interested to see decoy, and if I can spot him from his suite.
And maybe the next pranks, right?
You and me both. You and me both. I tell you, decoy for me is, I'll have to pay attention to, well, of course, any dog, but that dog any day. But I have a question for you, Jill, about Miguel Rojas. I mean, this is a guy that Clint and I have a tremendous amount of respect for. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I wanted your take, and I'm not certain that you may have seen the article written that Jazz Chisholm of the now New York Yankees had a little bit to say about the negativity he felt when Miguel Rojas was a member of the Marlins, just to kind of the hierarchy, if you will, of veteran player versus rookie. I have never sensed that with Miguel Rojas to be anything other than an unbelievable teammate and an unbelievable clubhouse guy. You've been around this game a long time, and you've covered a variety of clubhouses and a lot of different sports. What is your take on how Miguel Rojas is received in that Dodgers clubhouse?
I mean, he's received as one of those leaders, just like a Kershaw, like a Will Smith, Will Smith more of a quiet leader, of course. A Mookie Betts, more of a quiet leader as well. But he's one of those guys. He's a little bit more demonstrative. I was certainly surprised to see some of those nuggets, if you will, in that story, ruining the cleats, a couple of those cleats that were designed by Chisholm, I believe, when they talked about having. He wanted to make sure, according to him, that the rookie was sort of put in his place. Haven't seen anything like that. If that's all correct, and certainly you have to value Chisholm's feelings. That's how he felt with Miguel. But I think Miguel has matured, and certainly that kind of behavior would not work in the Dodgers clubhouse. There's too many leaders in there, too many Freddie Freemans, and again Clayton Kershaws that keep everything in check. And that's why you don't see them signing some of these guys that were made or that were available, rather, that have questionable characteristics or have questionable times in the Dodgers clubhouse. So, all the guys that they signed, the popular guys like the Kike and the Teoscars, bringing them back, it's because they all fit into that clubhouse. So, again, I haven't heard anything like that about the Miggy here in LA. And again, I just assume it's a kind of a trajectory of maturing, and that stuff's not going to fly in LA.
Yeah, Jill, I couldn't agree with you more. You said it perfectly there. Before we let you go, not to put you on the spot, but just your prediction in terms of win-losses for the 2000. And I know that you are impartial. You are actually a journalist. You're not a homer like Clint and I are. So your win-loss record for the Los Angeles Dodgers, what is it?
Oof, hadn't thought about that. There's going to be some pressure with trying to get the back-to-back. There's going to be some injuries, and so I don't know. I'd say about 104, 105 wins. I don't think they're going to do any of this 120 win business. But it's just all a push to win the World Series. So anything over 100, of course, a bonus. Can I tell you what my biggest surprise of the day is?
Of course.
The get-in price for the Dodgers, 138, like minimum. That wasn't even number one on the list today. Can somebody explain to me why Cincinnati had the highest get-in price by far?
Gavin Lux,
because
man.
It's opening day in Gavin Lux. Opening day in Cincinnati is legitimately a national holiday. Like, they sell it out every year at Great American Small Park every single year. And then game 2 of the season, there's 7 people in the stands. It's a very weird phenomenon in Cincinnati. It's like, it is a massive day today for them. And then, like, the rest of the season, you can't give away seats. It's insane. Jill Painter-Lopez, always doing a tremendous job. Enjoy the game. Enjoy covering the team this year. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you both. Appreciate you.
That was a lot of fun there, Alanna.
Yeah, she's a great girl. She's done this a long time. She covers every single sport. Like, it's insane the amount of stuff that she does. All right, what are we doing? I'm all over the place. Are we doing last licks? We're doing last licks.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so again, this is the last time we're going to promote this here, because the auction actually ends on Monday. But this is an opportunity, guys, to get 4 amazing tickets. They are field level seats right behind home plate. 4 amazing tickets and parking and parking, because as we know, Robert Flores is always saying that the Dodger parking lot sucks. And free parking.
Richie.
Richie Flores. Sorry, Robert Flores is my friend at MLB Network. Anyway, Richie Flores. It's a great opportunity, guys. Every single cent goes to help dogs in need. You go to 32auctions.com. Come on, Richie, get on here. 32auctions.com/LAD Cubs, because you get to see the Dodgers take on the Cubs in the domestic rematch on April 13th. It's a Sunday day game. And high bid wins, and it's all for the puppers. So 32auctions.com/LADCUBS. All right. Before we get into what's coming on your show tonight, Clint, thought for the road. What is your take on this whole Miguel Rojas situation?
It's interesting. I have a hard time. I want to see both sides of the story. I would like to see Mickey Rose retort to this, because we did get a version the last time this sort of headline made its way into the ethos here. I don't want to say I have a hard time believing it, but there has to be something more to it on the Miguel Rojas side. I mean, if that was his method of tough love for the Miami Marlins, maybe, but knowing Miguel Rojas, we've talked to him on the show before, talked to him in the clubhouse. I've talked to him before even doing this show. He's just such a good character dude. I've never heard any sort of player say a single bad thing about Miguel Rojas. There's one player that's saying something bad about Miguel Rojas. So there's something fishy to me.
Yeah, the 2014 Dodger team had a lot of massive personalities and a lot of massive egos. And I think when the new ownership group took over, a lot was placed on character of dudes. And all I needed to know is that Miguel Rojas went, and they brought him back. You know what I mean? Like, if you bring a player back that says something special, like if you bring a Teoscar back that says something special, Kike, those guys that you want in that clubhouse to make sense, because Kershaw's not going to deal with any bullshit. Justin Turner wasn't going to deal with any bullshit when he was here. So, and don't think for 1 second these veteran players aren't asked about a guy when the front office goes out to want to sign somebody. You don't think they did their work on Blake Snell? You don't think they questioned, the integrity and the character of Tanner Scott or Kirby Yates? Of course they did. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. What's coming up on All Dodgers with Clint Pasillas tonight?
I say, to add one thing on Miguel Rojas too, is the reason they basically immediately extended him as well after bringing him back. Like, it's just the type of dude you want in your clubhouse. But anyways, more about me. We are actually going to be live today doing a watch along on the channel. So guys, there is the name of the channel, All Dodgers with Clint Pasillas. We'll be live about, 20-30 minutes before first pitch. Go all the way through the game, and then kind of have a baked in, probably not baked, but baked in post-game show as well. I don't do that. I'm a drinker, not a toker. not a midnight toker. But guys, do tube in. We'll be live again just a little bit before, about a half hour before the 4:10 first pitch here in LA. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing some friends here on the YouTube machine.
All right, guys, great to have you with us, Clint. Have a good show tonight. We're looking forward to our second year together on Dodgers territory. Everybody, please like, subscribe, tell your friends. Happy opening day, everybody. Looking forward to talking about the first series of the weekend on Monday when Clint and I are back with you. Go Dodgers.
Bye.